They say the dead have nothing more to say. But what if they found a way to speak? What if you found a radio station broadcasting from beyond the grave? Hello, traveler. Have you ever tuned your radio to a station that shouldn't exist? One that vanishes as quickly as it appears and whispers from the other side? This is the story of a boy named Eli. Eli was 13 when he discovered the station. He loved old radios. While most kids played games, Eli played with static. He lived in a small town tucked between the woods and fog. One night when a thunderstorm rolled in and the power flickered, he turned the dial on his grandfather's antique radio. That's when he found it. There was no number on the dial, just a deep silence. Then the voice came, soft, cold, echoing.
Welcome to Station 13, broadcasting beyond the grave.
Eli froze. He thought it was a prank, but something about the voice, the way it seemed to slither under his skin and chill him to the bone, made him certain it was real. The station played no music, only sounds, crying, whispers, the scraping of nails. And between it all, names. Names of people who had died in his town. Some of them he knew, most he didn't. And then, like clockwork, every night the voice would say their name and their age, and how they died and when it would happen. One night the voice said, Eleanor Marsh, 76, heart failure, tomorrow. Eli didn't know her, but he wrote the name down. The next day, the local paper said she passed in her sleep. He kept listening. Every night the voice echoed with another name and another date, and every day someone died. Just like the voice said, it was always the same time, 11:59 p.m. The voice would rattle off the names. Then when the clock struck midnight, the radio would crackle with static. And then one night the voice spoke his name, Eli Morgan, age 13, fire at midnight. He froze. What did it mean? Was this the end? Would his house burn down? Would his parents die? He told them, but they didn't believe him. All they saw was a worried kid and an old radio. So at 11:55 p.m., he grabbed the radio and ran to the backyard, far from the house. The clock hit midnight, and that's when the fire started. His house lit up like paper. The fire department said it was electrical, a faulty wire, maybe an overloaded circuit. But Eli knew the truth. He survived, but his parents didn't. After that, Eli stopped listening. He buried the radio in the woods. But late at night, he could still hear it faintly whispering through walls, through dreams. Years passed. Eli grew up and moved far away. But sometimes late at night, when the wind was just right, he could still hear it. Then, one day last week, he met a girl. She was new in town, and she told him about a strange radio she found at a garage sale. It looked old, like it hadn't been used in decades. She couldn't get it to work. No matter what she did, all it played was static. But sometimes, just sometimes, she could hear a voice saying, "Welcome to Station 13." And if that wasn't enough that very night, while he was telling her the story, the radio in her apartment started to pick up a new frequency, the voice. It rattled off a list of names, most of them strangers. Then it said, Sarah Carter, age 24, car accident. 11:58 p.m. tonight. When Eli heard his name, he didn't panic. Instead, he smiled sadly. Sarah didn't listen to the voice. She laughed it off, changed the subject. So if you ever find a station with no number on the dial, if you hear a voice that knows your name, don't listen too long. It's not just a story. It's a warning. Sweet dreams, traveler. We'll be waiting on Station 13.